Coming up, Washington, D.C. heads into public impeachment hearings later today. And later, a new bill could change the future of Iowa farming.
A whole lot of losses sums up what I'll be talking about in sports. More for you in just a few minutes.
If you thought you'd seen enough snow for 1 week, you'd better think again. I've got more details in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Tuesday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. We start right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Lauren Varell. This week, the first impeachment inquiry public hearing is set to take place on Wednesday. Many high-level politicians are expected to be called to the stand, but inside information is already beginning to surface. Last night, transcripts of testimonies from 3 Trump administrators were released by Democrats, all of which took place during private investigations last month. Donald Trump announced he would be releasing the transcript of his first phone call with Ukraine sometime during the week. The official hearing will begin tomorrow with a second hearing scheduled for Friday, so be sure to stay tuned throughout the week for updates. Well, guys, it's cold. It's cold in the studio. It's cold outside. It's cold everywhere. Shavash, is that going to change?
Thanks, Lauren. Luckily, we won't be seeing any more snow today, but that doesn't mean it's getting any warmer. Going to stay below freezing today with high of 21. Skies will be mostly sunny this afternoon, but we'll hit a brisk low of 14 degrees this evening. Looking forward into the week, snowfall will be returning tomorrow, though it should be warmer with a high of 34. Keep your coat on around Thursday. It's going to stay chilly with a high of 34 and a low of 17 in the evening. The sun will finally make an appearance Friday with a slightly warmer high of 38 leading into the weekend. Saturday will move into the low 40s with partially cloudy skies and an evening low of 31. The week will wrap up with possible rain on Sunday, but nicer temps with highs in the mid-40s and a low of 30 degrees. Winter is here. Weather, we're ready or not, so be sure to stay bundled up this November. Lauren, back to you.
New regulations for the industrial growth of hemp in Iowa were released by the United States Department of Agriculture. More on this next step for Iowa's hemp program. We have DITV News Director Emily Callahan in the newsroom to tell us what farmers can expect from these new regulations.
Sure, so the regulations are going to cover the full scope of production from growing, testing, and the destruction process of all hemp with a THC concentration of more than 0.03%.
And how will farmers get a license to grow hemp in Iowa?
So they can get those licenses from the Iowa Department of Agriculture, which is going to require an application and a background check for anyone with more than a 5% interest in the hemp crop.
And what do the regulations mean for Iowa's hemp program?
Sure, so the regulations are just the next step in sort of approving this hemp program, which is hopefully going to allow Iowa farmers to grow another crop to make money off of besides just the soybeans and corn that we've been growing. And hopefully it will allow a real benefit for the Iowa state economy going forward.
Thanks, Emily. Moving away from farming and into Hawkeye sports, Cade, what can you tell us?
Well, we have a packed show for you today, Lauren, and we're going to start with football. And after this weekend's gut-wrenching loss to Wisconsin, Iowa football is now all but eliminated from winning the Big Ten West. With 3 one-possession games sitting in the loss column, many Hawkeye fans feel as though the team was so close, yet so far. DITV Director John Rawson has more on how one play captured the feeling more than any other.
Wisconsin, 24. Iowa, 16. Then this 75-yard connection between Nate Stanley and Tyrone Tracy closed the gap to a meager 2-point conversion with under 3.5 to go in the game. What happened on the 2-point conversion tells the story of Iowa's season. So close, yet so far away.
Yeah, it was a draw. Just try to give it some time, let it develop a little bit. The linebacker did a great job at coming up and hitting me. Unfortunately, just half a yard short.
I mean, he was trying to get in there, and it just, I guess I understand the umpire screened one of our blockers, but that's, it's football, and everybody's got a job to do. So it's pretty crowded down there typically. But yeah, that's him. I mean, he's going to compete his tail off, and he's a first-class guy. I'm really, happy he's our quarterback.
With Nate at the helm, This season, the Hawkeyes have lost their 3 games by a combined 14 points, with the biggest margin being 7 to Michigan. And each loss is to a top 20 team. So head coach Kirk Ferentz knows this is no easy task.
It's hard to do. That's probably I mean, there are 7 teams, I think, right, on our side. So one's going to go and 6 aren't. So, you know, that's the way football goes sometimes. And everybody's competing for the same thing.
And one of those teams competing for a Big Ten West title, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, will burrow down in Kinnick Stadium this Saturday to keep themselves atop the division. Reporting from Camp Randall Stadium, John Ross, DITV Sports.
Well, there is still a chance, technically, that Iowa could win the West. However, every game from here on out is a must-win, and that starts at 3 p.m. on Saturday against Minnesota. And last night, the Iowa men's basketball team was handed their first loss of the season. The Blue Demons got off to a 13-0 lead against the Hawks and didn't look back. Iowa couldn't keep up with DePaul as they were able to score from behind the arc all night long, as the Hawks would lose this contest 93-78.
Making mistakes that, you know, were essentially inexperienced mistakes by guys that have experience.
It's early. We got to learn. We got a really tough schedule. And we just got to, you know, pick it up in practice to have a better prep. You know, we got to just get ready for Oral Roberts and get ready to go. It's just, you got to turn the page, learn from it, and move on.
Well, the Hawks will look to turn the page when they face Oral Roberts on Friday night at 7 here in Iowa City. And resetting the court to Iowa volleyball, the team set a new attendance record when they faced Nebraska last Saturday night, but they were swept by the Cornhuskers 3-0. The Hawks and the Cornhuskers traded points throughout the first set, but tied at 20-20, Nebraska took the last 5 points, securing the first set 25-21. Iowa started out strong in the second set, taking the lead 4-1, but then fell off, letting Nebraska catch up and take the lead 10-6. Iowa added a few more points with aces from freshman Jocelyn Boyer, but fell behind again and ended up losing set 2, 18-25. In the third set, the Cornhuskers racked up points, taking an early 9-3 lead, resulting in an Iowa timeout. The Hawks took a point coming out of their timeout, but Nebraska answered back, gaining a 10-point lead 20-10, where the Hawks would eventually drop the third and final set 25-14.
Every team is an opportunity to either clip a set or take 2 sets or even a match. Just because in November you're getting towards the end and some teams are thinking more about NC2A because they can see it, so they kind of relax a little bit, and that's when opportunities to get matches. And so we're just more talking about being more about us and being about progression, and we should be seeing something new or adding from what we had on Wednesday match. We should see something different on Saturday. So that's pretty much our focus.
The volleyball team heads to Ann Arbor tomorrow to take on the Michigan Wolverines. And hopefully the world of Hawkeye sports can turn themselves around this week and rack up a couple of wins. Check back tomorrow for the football team's thoughts on doing just that as they play the undefeated Gophers at Kinnick this Saturday. Lauren, back to you.
On Monday, the university hosted one of their many Hawkeye Visit Days, where prospective students got the opportunity to tour campus, learn about majors, and enjoy lunch in the dining halls. And they learned about what it's like to be part of the Hawkeye community. These prospective students spent their day attending a series of informational and academic sessions, residence hall tours, and the Majors Fair, where they get the chance to explore their majors that they're interested in. All of these visit days are possible thanks to a combined effort from our staff and student volunteers here at the University of Iowa. That's all we have for you on this Tuesday morning edition of DITV News. Be sure to head over to DailyIowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. If that isn't enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out the print edition of the news on stands now. For DITV, I'm Lauren Varell. Have a great day, Iowa City.